What's up, guys? Dave Van Auken back. Another Dave Van Auken show. All right, PFL, it's coming. 2023, the season's coming. A lot of news in the PFL lately. But we're going to have on, he's been on the show, I believe, once or twice. One of the good dudes in all of MMA. Undefeated, 7-0, coming back to the PFL. Let's bring on our guy, Elvin Espinoza. Elvin, what's up, brother?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Doing good, bro. Doing good, man. Hey, I don't want to take all the credit. I think we've talked twice, before your fights. You're undefeated every time we talk. Just throwing that out there. I don't want to take all the credit,
Yeah, good
How's
luck,
life,
Charm.
man?
Good
Everything
luck,
good?
Charm. Yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's good. Working, training,
Yeah.
everything's going good.
Awesome, man. All right, 7-0. It's around the corner. I believe it's the 17th. Yeah, February 17th, Orlando, Florida, Challenger Series. First of all, when you got that news, where were you at mentally? Were you ecstatic when you got that fight on the 17th?
Yeah, I was excited. I was just waiting for any news to, start the year and get a fighter
Yeah.
ready. I was
Okay.
'cause I was gone. I didn't fight for a year. I got to fight in Madison, and now I got one right away. So I'm excited.
There you go. All right. I always got notes on you. That was one of my notes. Elvin, man, like 2022, was it difficult? Was it difficult to watch a lot of MMA fights from afar? The PFL was busy. They did have the Challenger Series. They weren't sure, like, if you're a challenger in a way, or are you going to be in the playoffs, the tournament? Where were you? Was it a hard year to kind of sit in a long distance?
Yeah, I just never knew what was gonna happen. So I
Yeah.
was just training all year, just staying ready, and we're waiting for my opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, you got a big one coming up in a couple of weeks here in Orlando, Florida for the Challenger Series.
Yeah.
All right. Does it give you a little extra kind of push, or like a little bit of extra fire that you saw? I'm a Florida guy, and I was at a lot of the Challenger Series, and we saw a lot of those fighters that were, quote, challengers. They became into the playoffs. We even saw Taylor went all the freaking way to the finals. Does that give you a
Yeah.
little bit like, wow, I can start here on the Challenger in February, but I could be fighting for $1 million in November or December?
No, yeah, that's awesome. It's very motivating. I just gotta go out there and shine. Do my thing, and then to see what happens. Yeah, I can be like Delano. To see that
Yeah,
from he went from Challenger Series all the way to the finals. It's doable. So I'm
it's
ready. I'm ready.
definitely doable. Did the PFL brass give you any extra, like, hey, you fought for us twice. We liked, a great finish in the first time. I believe the second time got the win. Did they kind of say, hey, if you just win here in the Challenger Series, you're going to be into the 2022, the playoffs, the tournament style? Did they kind of talk to you about that, or not really?
No, not really. Just
Okay.
I'm going step by step.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
whatever, one fight at a time. Let's see what happens.
Right. And then with the PFL, they made a lot of news this first week of the 2023 year, signing Jake Paul, and I feel, if fan or not of the person himself, it seemed like it was a good news for PFL because they've been everywhere for this first week. One, are you a fan of what kind of Jake Paul is doing, or the path that he's creating? And two, are you happy that the PFL signed him? I know there's a lot there. Where are you
Yeah.
at on Jake Paul in the PFL?
I think it's awesome. It's good because he does like promoting the fighters, and he says he wants to do all these things. So let's see if he actually does it. And it brings more eyes from like the
Yeah,
casual fans to
right.
to see what PFL is. Because everybody watches the UFC. Everybody knows the UFC is. So for him to like expose PFL and like show like it brings more eyes. To watch
Right.
us. So that's good. Let's see what happens, and it'd be cool. See, I heard he's fighting Mike Perry supposedly, or I don't know what's in the works. A lot of things going on.
Okay,
So
okay,
let's see.
okay. With that being said, or do you love, and I think we talked about this, the PFL format? So for, first 3-4 years, it was just all about the tournament, all about the $1 million, kind of fighting 4 or 5 times in a 5-6 month span. A lot of people are like, in MMA, that's tough, just because in fights you can get nicked up, get an injury, and doing the weight cut over and over again. And now they're kind of, pivoting a little bit to this pay-per-view style, kind of the UFC style. Is there one or more you like better? Would you you're like, hey, I do, you're still young in the game, still only, 7-0. Would you want to do the tournament for a couple years and try to win the million? Or would you rather just kind of fight quarterly or twice a year, 3 times a year, kind of on the pay-per-view style? Is there an avenue you would rather take your career?
I would like to do the tournament.
Okay. Okay.
I'm you're only in this for a short time, so gotta make the
Yeah.
best of it, and Got to push through. And I like it because like when I don't have a fight, I'm like always like hesitant on what to do. It's like if I'm like lining up stuff, it keeps me on track.
Yeah. I hear that all the time. I hear fighters love having black permanent marker on a calendar. They love having the date. They love seeing the fight poster. Kind of keeps your mind going straight, keeps you training. Big 2023, my man. This is crazy. Should be a good year. Anything on so on the 17th, fighting in Florida. I know you fought a lot of times in Florida. I know not on the Challenger, but you have multiple PFL sessions, going through them twice. And I know once in New York and Madison Square. That's got to give you, to me, I would feel a little bit of a, like, oh, this is just another day in the park. I've done it.
Yeah.
And to maybe like, I think your challengers never fought for the PFL before. This is like a big thing for them. You've already done it. I would assume you kind of like that familiarity to kind of like, hey, this is just another Saturday, another Friday night. I'm going to get the job done.
Yeah. He's tough. He's a tough dude. I saw him fight. I saw his Challenger Series fight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun fight.
Yeah.
And it's another day. It's another day in the job work. So
all right. I got a fun one for you, and then I got 5 names. I would love let's do that first. All right. Here are 5 PFL lightweights. First thing that comes to your head, it could be a one word, it could be a sentence, whatever you want to say. 5 names. You ready?
Okay.
Jeremy Stevens.
As in, so what do you want me to say? Sorry.
Yeah, anything. What's the first thing? If I say Jeremy Stevens to you, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
It's Banger.
Banger. Okay. Stevie Ray.
That's a slick. He's slick.
He's slick. Okay, I like that. How about Anthony Showtime Pettis?
Entertaining.
Clay Collard.
That guy's a gangster.
Gangster for sure. The last one, the champ. OAM.
OAM. He's a monster. He's a monster. I saw him in person, so he's a big dude.
Right. Yeah, he was on that show in New York, right? The same show.
Yeah, he was in my locker room. He's a super nice guy.
Good. Because that kind of, I would assume, of course, when he wins the championship and he's a millionaire now, and the way like that's the goal. That's kind of the bullseye. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Last thing for you. This is something we've been doing a lot here at Fight Bananas. Mount Rushmore. Everyone talks about who's the GOAT. It's so hard in MMA because of different weight classes and different eras of that sort. But I like Mount Rushmore. That gives you 4 people. Can be female, can be male, can be young, old, whatever it is. 4 the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. Who's your Mount Rushmore of MMA?
Yeah, let's see. GSP.
Okay.
I want to say John Jones.
Okay.
I gotta throw Khabib in there. Khabib is nasty. I love Khabib.
Never lost.
Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva. Okay. That's like the
Yeah.
the most like basic answers.
No, my man. For one, those are great, and it's funny. I let's talk about Silva for a minute or two. I think because a lot of people are getting. I feel like every year more people come into the MMA space. And, Anderson Silva's best years were 6 years ago, 8 years ago. And in that run, people forget how dominant he was in the middle, the middleweights for the UFC. That run was incredible. One of the greatest runs in the history of the sport. And now a lot of people, I feel like, have a negative, they've seen him lose in the last couple of fights in the UFC. And then the whole Silva thing, see him lose and all that. It's just like people forget how great Anderson Silva was. Were you watching? Was that one of the fighters when you were kind of getting up in the sport? You're like, holy crap, when he's on it, he's must see. You got to watch him.
Yeah, it was him and GSP and for sure John Jones. Those are always fights I was watching.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, that's a good one, man. I'm telling you, Khabib is a debatable one. It seems like a lot of people, and I get it with the weight class. I wish I would have seen 2 or 3 more fights. Kind of in this era, like him versus Charles Oliveira would have been perfect at that time. That would have been a good one.
That would have been awesome. An awesome fight.
But would you assume, kind of seeing what Makhachev did to Oliveira, would you assume kind of Khabib would have done the same thing?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think so. But you never know. It's true. Every fight's different.
True, very true, man. Elvin Espinoza, 7-0, fighting 2/17/23 at the Challenger Series. My man, appreciate you. Anything else you want to? Any sponsors? Anything you want to push or plug?
Yeah, shout out to my sponsors. Ritanga 505. Miami Luxury Cars, for the Healthy Kitchen, And you know, shout out to Fight Bananas.
Hey, appreciate it, my man. Hey, we'll be there in Orlando. We'll see you in next month. And then I think we're going to see you in Atlanta. We're going to see you in Arlington. We'll see you in New York City. I think it's going to be a big year for you, 2023. All right.
Yes, sir. We go to Disney after this win, or Universal.
Hey,
whatever.
I like that. I like that, man.
That's
We'll
the
bring the
plan.
family out there. I like that. My man, be blessed. We'll stay true. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, man.
Later.